Good day, everyone. My name is Miguel Garcia, and right now we're actually waiting for Miss Roxana Popat to be here. Um, Let us just try to invite her. We're still waiting for some of our audiences. So,
Hi. Hello, Miguel. Can you hear me and see me?
yes, ma'am, you're very audible, ma'am. Right now, we're just waiting for some of our audiences to come in, and so after that, we can start. Um,
Wonderful.
Maybe I could introduce you right now, ma'am, for some of the other audiences to know. So, hello everyone. My name is Miguel Garcia, and I am from SIMMI Foundation, one of the social media marketer. And right now, we are here with someone who is a neuro-linguistic programming trainer, a transformational speaker whose goal is to support people in conquering the fears through 1 minute transformation exercises and 1 hour NLP therapy sessions. She has created a visualizing exercise that is dominating on conquering your fears. She is the author of the 7 Step Guide to Permanently Conquer Your Fears. Let us all welcome Ms. Roxana Popat. Hello, ma'am. Good day to you. How are you?
Hi, Miguel. Thank you so much for the lovely introduction. I'm very eager to get our audience informed about how to get their fears under their control, especially in business. So I'm looking forward.
So we are really privileged and really happy to be with you right now, especially SIMMI Foundation Philippines, to let us have you here. So can we start our interview, ma'am?
Definitely, definitely. Thank you.
Of course, ma'am. Thank you. Wow, this is actually going smooth. Okay, so ma'am, for our first question, could you give us some insight into how you came to the conclusion that the concept of conquering fears is the one you wanted to embrace? Like, what kicked you off to focus on this as your space?
Can you please repeat the last question? You broke off a bit. So sorry.
I'm
The
sorry.
final.
It's all right. It's all right, ma'am. So, what kicked you off to focus on this as your space?
This is a very good question, Miguel. Thank you. Long story short, it took me 8 full years to finally put a decision in practice. I used to be employed, and I got to a point where after 6 months, I didn't enjoy being in that place anymore. People were nice, but I wanted to do something else. I was more creative. I wanted to serve the people that I work with. I wanted to have my own business. But something happened and I just couldn't make the move. I took the decision in my mind. It was very easy. We all know what we have to do, right? I knew that I had to move on to either go to a new job or start learning about how to build a business, how to start doing something else. But I waited 8 full years. And that's why I have decided that, okay, if I managed to pull through this, to finally conquer all the fears, the anxiety, all the limiting beliefs, I am not going to let anyone else around me go through what I did. So my story is such a great lesson to have your fears taken care of, to be coachable, to ask for help, because I have to admit that I wasn't at first. So it's my own personal hardship that got me to start this concept of step on your fears.
So basically, ma'am, this is actually a self-discovery for yourself, and this was a journey to let go of the things that you fear. And right now, that is your goal is to share to everyone too that everyone can actually let go of their fear of the anxiety. That is a very good concept. So ma'am, you wrote a guide about fear. You teach, you assist, and support individuals. They learned a lot from you. But ma'am, what is the most remarkable and memorable thing that you learned from them?
I'm loving this question, Miguel. Thank you. The thing is that since I left that job and I got into building my own business, I started talking with tens and hundreds of young entrepreneurs and people that were on the verge of leaving their jobs. And they all had this very interesting need to do more, to want more, to contribute. But there is this strong fear and frustration holding them back, because the biggest fear that I encountered when I was talking to them was that they were afraid what other people would think. And I learned from them that it's vital to put our needs first, to focus on us, because we cannot give from an empty bag. You need to take care of yourself first. And if there is anyone that would disrupt your journey, someone from the exterior, they're not your friend. And you cannot take into account anything of what they say. So might as well focus on you. And in the process, as you grow, attract those people that support you to be your best version, that allow you to create so much more than you were doing in the past. So yes, I learned that you need to be authentic. You need to let go of what other people think, because once again, if they don't support you, if they don't give you positive feedback, they're not your friends, and you don't want to have around you people that are dragging you down. Even if it's family members, we all know we have that family member that is loving us so much, but they put their fears onto our lives. They see their vision and they think that they want to protect us. But at the end of the day, who knows best what you need to do? It's only you.
So basically, ma'am, it's like taking yourself to actually put boundaries for yourself and then rediscovering yourself, just like what you did. Okay. Back to your guide, ma'am. You wrote in that you think that fear is actually a blessing, which is really different from other people, because when people are and people talk about their fear, they're they feel like they're miserable, they feel like they're so scared because, well, it's fear. The word itself is fear, but for you it's a blessing, which is really a very different thing. So why is that? Why do you think that fear is a blessing?
I'm enjoying this question because I thought originally, as you said, that fear was something awful at first. I used to be afraid of being afraid. How amazing is that? The thing is that, Miguel, fear is a part of us. It's a part of our system. It is how our mind is built. And fear is here to keep us safe. This is its only purpose. Call it a worried mother. It wants you to be well, it wants you to be nurtured. You need to be safe in the comfort zone, because otherwise you get this feeling of unease. You have this very strong feeling of, I'm not sure what's going to happen, so I might as well not get out of my comfort zone. Your worried mother, the fear, wants you to acknowledge it. You need to understand that your fear is here, but it's not here to harm you. It actually tells you what you need to do to grow more, to evolve, to break the barrier of your mind, to break those limiting beliefs. And I always encourage even the groups of people that I work with to ask themselves this very important question. Why am I feeling like this now? When you answer to this question, ideally, put it on a piece of paper. You acknowledge fear, and when you put your subconscious emotions in front of your conscious mind, it disappears. It mainly happens to 99% of the emotions that we no longer want to get us controlled. When you discover a limiting belief, you discover a fear, you discover a strong frustration, Bring it into your awareness. Ask yourself questions that empower you to let it all out. Put it in front of your eyes in the subconscious mind, coming from the behind of your mind. Put it in front, and the rational thinking gets you focusing on solutions. You will no longer see fear as a problem, but it's a guide. It shows you what to do, what you actually need to do to be more, to do more, to let go of something that was holding you back. Maybe you're in a situation where you just want to change your job, or maybe you're thinking that I should start a side business. Everyone is doing this, why not me? But then you have this very strong thought in 2 seconds coming. I'm not good. I failed at 1,000 things in the past. I'm not good. Don't let this sink in. Ask yourself instead, why am I feeling this? Because a minute ago you were happy, you were pumped up. I want to do something new. Bring it on. I have what it takes. But then fear kicks in. Just ask yourself this, why am I feeling this? And you'll see how when you put your thoughts from here to there on the piece of paper, you see it black on white, you get aware, you get conscious of it, and it goes away. Solutions are going to start kicking in. So that's why, Miguel, I think that fear is the strongest blessing, although it may be the strongest negative emotion if you dwell into it. But you can go out in a few seconds with this question. So I advise everyone to test this out, and please let us know how is this going for you.
So, ma'am, it's like saying that fear is actually our window to let ourselves out, to actually, it's like also a mirror to actually reflect on ourselves, what it is that is stopping us, and what can we do to actually move forward, to not let it stop. And this is actually really, really, really insightful because ma'am, I'm actually a psychology student from the Philippines. So this is, I'm going to take note of this. So, speaking now of self reflection, what is the one thing you wish you had done, but ended up didn't doing because you were afraid because there's fear in your heart?
To be honest, Miguel, since I got to be the Army General Affairs, I have mainly conquered all of the conscious fears, all of the ones that I knew that were keeping me behind. And when I feel fear, I just ask myself this question, why am I feeling the way that I do right now? I sometimes get my phone and put down a few words, and then I realize, okay, this is not real. This is just my mind wanting to keep me safe. It's the worried mother, as I call it, that just wants me to be 100% away from anything that is harming me. And I have this great view that I learned not too long ago from one of my podcast hosts. And it's about thinking the timing of fear and regret. The thing is, Miguel, that if you don't do the thing that you are afraid of, you are going to end up in regret. And regret is harder and stronger and more awful to deal with than any fear in this world. Think about it like this. Fear only lasts a few seconds before you actually start doing something, before you get into action. However, regret may be with you for a lifetime because then you get shame, then you get guilt. Regret is so much more complex and it has this tendency to take on every other aspect of your life because how you do one thing, you do them all. So might as well think about this when you feel like dreading too much to take a decision. You can deal with fear because then if it doesn't work out, you get an amazing lesson. You just learn what not to do. You get to have this amazing learning that just gets you further ahead. But if you have regret, there are things that you simply cannot do the second time. Maybe you won't have the chance. You won't be able to go back and do that thing. So might as well see regret as something that you would want to avoid by all means. Take the fear, dance with it, ask yourself some questions. If it doesn't work out, and it won't work out all the time because we want to have all the steps, make it perfect from the first try, it's impossible. It's simply unaware to our mind that we have to know it all from the very beginning. It cannot happen because you cannot know it all in everything that you do from the first try. Might as well take an amazing lesson. It's Michael Jordan that is one of the most amazing athletes in the world. And he got to be like this. And I think you know this, Miguel, because he has failed more than anyone else in his domain. However, he kept on going, he kept on learning, he kept on making adjustments. Sometimes it's only a 2 millimeter adjustment. It may not look too much, but go ahead and move forward with a 2 millimeter difference. In 100 meters, you'll see a completely different picture. It's a whole new perspective. So it's the same with learning a lesson, taking on fear. However, make sure you avoid regret by all means. So that's why, Miguel, I'm not waiting on anything to make me move ahead. I know that if I don't do it, I'm going to have regrets. I have learned from my past experiences, and I just don't want to feel this awful feeling of what if? Oh my goodness, what if I had just given it a try? Maybe I'd be somewhere else now. So it's the lack of not wanting to feel the regret that keeps me away from dwelling into fear.
So ma'am, it's like we have to collect new mistakes every time we try to reach new goals. We have to not regret any of this because taking risks is better than actually losing chances.
Definitely. And Miguel, I just want to add that we as a society have labeled mistakes as something wrong, something that I want to avoid mistakes, I want to avoid failure because it does make us feel bad. It's a lot of mental pain connected to this feeling of things have not worked out as I had planned. However, just look at it from a new perspective. Next time, you'll know what not to do. Therefore, you will do something
You
new.
learn.
You will try out a new approach to just get better and better in the process.
So collect mistakes and make no regrets of it because you learn from it. All right. So, mom, on your recent YouTube video, you talked about health, and our health was severely harmed by the pandemic, which prompted us to make a paradigm shift that significantly disrupted our very comfortable lifestyle. My question is, ma'am, how did you manage to adapt and adjust, especially that the pandemic itself is something that cultivates fear. People fear people fear the sickness itself. People fear even the vaccine itself.
Oh, this is such a nice question because I have actually made fear to be similar to the pandemic in my mind. I thought, okay, the pandemic is here. Can I do anything personally to stop it? No, unless I'm working with a World Organization Health company and all the amazing people making their best, trying their best to keep us safe. I can't do anything, so might as well. I'm going to use it to my advantage. It's just like with fear. We need to treat it as something that is a part of us. It's almost like the weather, another example, a worried mother, the weather. There are things that you cannot control. So why dwell and why be upset over the rain? Can you control the rain, Miguel? No, you can't. So what I did, since I had extra time and I'm privileged to be working from home with my business, and I also have a small baby that needs a lot of care, I took the extra time to build my podcast. My podcast is now 1 year and 1 month since it started in 2020.
Congrats, ma'am.
Thank you. And yeah, it's wonderful to use the extra time since we can't go outside. We couldn't anyway a few months ago. I did more content. I had my YouTube channel redone. I wrote another book. I did so much more learning. I read books and I had my audio books and meditations, and I simply took advantage extra time, and I thought, okay, this is a blessing. Oh my goodness. I can't control it. It's outside of my reach completely. I need to keep safe, stay indoors, and focus on my health, focus on my own personal development, and help others in the same time. And notice that I say focus on my health and focus on my personal development first, Miguel. Because if I were a bit unsure if I would be feeling stuck or even sad. How can I help other people go through this and have a better, more beautiful experience with the extra time? And how could I help them conquer their fears if I would see the negative side? So we need to look at things possible from a rational point of view. Ask yourself this: why am I feeling like this? Or another great question: how can I do this despite fear? This is another powerful question because you acknowledge fear, you call it out, you know that it's there when you say despite fear. But at the same time, Miguel, when you use the word how gets you to focus on solutions. So it's looking at that thing in front of you that may seem huge from a slightly different perspective. Change a bit. See, how can you do this despite? Why am I feeling like this? And the fear goes away.
So it is always taking chances whenever and wherever. And like I said yesterday, the pandemic is actually a double-edged sword because it made us stop. It made us stop enjoying our comfortable, our comfort, our busy life. And right now, we took a break and we ended up covering more of ourselves. That and as you said, which is really truly good. And so, ma'am, for our final question, what would you say to people who are afraid of things, especially in light of our current circumstances?
I would tell them to have a minute for themselves. Take an extra minute in the morning and an extra minute in the evening. Since I'm a trainer, if that's okay with you, Miguel, I'd love to give out a very simple exercise, something that anyone can do, even if they have huge anxiety, which happens. And most of the times you can't control. It takes time to keep your mind under your control. It doesn't happen overnight. However, this exercise in around a week and a half or 2 weeks is going to get you, the one that may be feeling anxious, to no longer feel this and have your thoughts under your control. So when you wake up, the first thing that you do, make sure that you have a pen and a piece of paper. This is vital. This is so important because it's this magical connection that your brain connects with your emotions and your hands. When you write things down, you eliminate so much more tension and resistance and frustration when you simply get your hands to do something, especially if you leave a trace. So my exercise today is that when you wake up, just get a pen and a piece of paper and start drawing some random lines. Don't do anything that pushes you too much, because most of the times that severe feeling of fear and restlessness and anxiety happens the very moment you open your eyes. You feel that I don't belong here, but you do. So just do this very, very easy exercise. You don't need to think of anything. Just have your mind doing a bit of drawing, maybe dots, maybe let it do some circles. You will feel when and what is the best drawing for you. Now, what does this do? You get present. When you get present, there's no fear, there's no anxiety, because nothing is harming you. There's no tiger, there's no dinosaur wanting to attack you in that very moment, because our minds, our brains, since are millions of years old, we have this very strong enrooted fear from the very beginning of the human brain. It's all in here, this amazing computer of ours. However, you wake up in this modern society, obviously you're safe in your bed, in your home, and you feel that something may be attacking you. This is how the mind reacts, because we wake up into the waves of the subconscious mind. So once again, in the morning, just draw some lines and you will see how being present, eliminating resistance and frustration, you are going to feel so much better. You'll feel this, oh my goodness, I'm ready to start the day. Such a great relief. It takes 1 minute. However, if you feel like doing more, maybe 2 or 3 minutes, this depends on how your state is at that very moment. Do not push it. Don't force yourself to do this. Maybe you're going to wake up in the morning feeling not so good, but then you see the pen and the piece of paper. Maybe you don't feel like putting anything down there. Don't. Just take 10 seconds to look at the pen and look at the paper. Again, you get present. Now you do this in the morning. In the evening, it's a bit more complex. I want you to ask yourself this. Why am I feeling like this right now? You are going to start analyzing how are you feeling in this very moment right now. And as you write down words, or maybe you still feel like drawing a bit. However, I suggest you get a bit of thinking and put some words down. You'll be focusing on solutions. The thing is that you are going to have all the fears, all the limiting beliefs taken from here down there on the piece of paper. So you're going to have the most unbelievable sleep during the night when you do this exercise. It's fear-free, it's stress-free, and you feel like a brand new person. Once again, it takes time. Do not, by all means, do not expect for change to happen in a day or two. It may take a week or two, or even a month, or even more. However, know that it's going to be better and better and better. Miguel, test this exercise as well. Tell me how it goes, because I am so curious to find out how amazing you'll be feeling after trying this.
So ma'am, it's like, do not rush everything. Make it consistent and let change happen all throughout your journey. Do not expect an instant change. And this has been a very, very educational and eye-opening talk for me, especially me, because I'm a psychology student, and I must take note of this, especially if I ended up helping people with mental mental challenges with themselves. And it has been a pleasure, ma'am, finding more about you. And thank you for your time. This has been a fantastic conversation with you. Would you want, ma'am, to plug some of your contacts or details, your website, your YouTube, other social media sites you have?
Thank you so much, Miguel. It has been a pleasure. Thank you to Sam as well for organizing everything. Sam, you are doing an amazing job. Yes,
Awesome.
thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I would love for our viewers and our listeners to check out my social networks. I'm Roxana Popet. Everywhere on social media, literally, you can find me anywhere. I have a lot of great free resources, as the book that you have just mentioned. Test it out, and yeah, let me know how it goes, because I love to have more fearless friends around me, since my main goal is to build fear-free communities all around. Miguel, thank you for an amazing interview.
Thank
You
you,
have done
ma'am.
such a
Thank you,
great
ma'am.
job. Thank you, such a pleasure. Thank you so much.
We also thank you here, ma'am. So, well, ladies and gentlemen, this has been Miss Roxana Pupet, and in behalf of SIMMI Foundation, Philippines and India. We thank all of you, especially you, Ms. Prophet. And that is a wrap for today. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for watching.
Thank you for
Thank you,
watching.
ma'am. Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Bye, everyone.